I'm giving away $500, and all you need to do is stick into the end to see how to win. But wait, what I'm about to show you in the next few minutes is worth way more than $500. Okay, I'm about to show you my exact proven and back-tested trading strategy that I've used to trade full-time for the past 2 years. Okay, in fact, it's the same strategy as well that I used to turn $2,500 into 10K in just 1 month. So let's hop on the chart, show you my exact strategy so you can start using the same strategy literally today. Okay, so what actually is my strategy? We're in the charts. The way that I trade is supply and demand. Now, there's tons of videos out there about supply and demand, and honestly, supply and demand by itself doesn't work. Okay, you need to have a strategy that actually works. You need to have confirmation. You need to add other elements into your strategy in order to get it to work. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys the exact confirmations that I use to have a win rate of about 65%. Okay, and you can do this across all trades, all markets, all time frames. I'm going to break all of that down and show you examples in this video. So let's start with the basics, go over some supply demand stuff, and then we'll get into the more advanced stuff. Now, if you're a beginner, you don't know anything about supply demand, stay tuned. This is going to help you out a ton. So what is a supply and demand zone? Well, supply and demand is all based around the fact that banks and institutions move the market, okay? And what you want to do with supply and demand is you trade with them. That's essentially how it works. Now, supply demand is all about speed, okay? It's all about how fast price moves. And if you can identify when there's a very fast price action move, you can make a lot of money. So now there's 4 different types of supply and demand setups, okay? You have your RBR, which stands for a rally base rally. You have your DBR, which stands for a drop base rally. And then RBD, rally, base drop, DBD, drop, base drop, okay? Now, the whole point of supply and demand based around the concept that, okay, price moves in 2 different phases, right? We have a consolidation period where price will be very choppy, very in and out, not exactly sure what to trade. And then there will be times where price just keeps going straight up with no pullbacks at all, or straight down with no pullbacks at all, okay? So where a lot of money is made. Now, supply and demand is based off the fact that if you can identify where these consolidation points are right before a fast move, that's how you know there are supply and demand zones and you can take advantage and trade off of them. So let's take a look at an RBR zone, okay? RBR is simple. We have a rally, we have a small base, small consolidation, pullback, and then we have a rally, okay? Another rally. So rally, base, rally. Now, how you draw your zone is simply you find the consolidation, you get from the top to the bottom of that consolidation, and you just extend your zone out. Simple as that. Now, I'm going to show you some live examples, okay? Show you exactly how to draw this on the candlestick charts. Bear with me. But for now, let's go over the other different examples. So, drop, base, rally. Very simple. We have a drop, we have a consolidation period, and then we have a rally. So our zone is simply this entire consolidation period. Okay, now what are we actually expecting with supply and demand? How do we actually trade it? Well, when price ends up coming back down into this zone, that's when you want to buy, okay? What you trade with supply and demand is you're expecting that banks and institutions bought down here. So when price comes back down, they're going to defend that position and then bring price back up. That's exactly what you're doing with supply and demand, okay? This is how you're able to tell how banks and institutions are moving markets. But like I said, supply and demand by itself, just by drawing these zones, is not going to work, okay? I need to show you the confirmations so you can actually have a winning strategy, okay? But let's cover this first. So same thing with the other side, okay? Rally-based drop, price goes up, we have that consolidation period, and we extend that zone out. And then what we expect is when price comes back into the zone, we want to look to get short and play the move back to the downside. Same thing with this, the drop-based drop, right? If price comes through like this, we want to expect the move where price can end up coming back inside. We get short for the move lower. So let me show you some examples and show you exactly how to trade this on the candlestick charts. So let me go on the weekly time frame on TTD, okay? Let me zoom out and show you this real quick. So we have TTD, right? Now, remember what I said earlier in the video, speed is king. You need to look at the speed of price action. That's how you can tell supply and demand. So if we look at TTD, what do we see in this area here? Okay, we see price ends up moving up. We have a little consolidation period. We have that rally. We have this base. And we have this huge move higher. Fast move higher. Look at this. We get 3 weekly candles in a row, all gapping up with no pullbacks, no bottom wicks. And we end up going from 42 bucks all the way up to 66 in about 4 weeks, which for TTD, just visually looking, is a massive move, okay? And by identifying this, we can say, okay, we know at the base of this move, there's probably some institutions buying down here. And so we know if price comes back to that, they're going to want to defend that position. Now let me show you one more. It's really funny. Right happens right after this. You can see price ends up doing the same thing. We have this rally. We have another consolidation period and an even bigger move, right? In 1 week, price goes all the way from 55 bucks up to 83, okay? And when you see this, you know, okay, back in this area here, there's probably institutional activity. There's probably banks that are buying down here and loading it back up. And when price comes back down, we can expect that area to be defended. So now how do we actually draw the exact zones? How do we find our entries and our exits? Well, it's very, very simple. What you want to do is find your fast move. So in this example here, we have this rally, this base, this rally. You can see obviously the move starts here, okay? Right down at 54, all the way up to 84. What you want to do is you want to take the candle that happens right before the move starts, and that's where your zone is, okay? So this is obviously where the big move is. We take the candle before, we go from the high down to the low of the next candle, okay? Where the move starts, we extend it out. That's our demand zone. You can see price ends up coming right back into it and then right back out. The opportunity to buy here is very, very simple, very easy to understand. Same thing here, okay? We have this rally. We have this kind of consolidation period. We have this move higher. So when price comes back down, we take the candle that happened right before the move starts. It would be this candle here. We extend it out. Price comes right down, scrapes the top of that zone, and ends up ripping all the way higher from about 46 all the way up to 88, close to a 100% move in about a few months, okay? So we have supply and demand. We have it figured out. Where do we exactly enter and exit, okay? And actually, before we get into that, I'm going to show you a few other examples. NQ, okay, it works on futures as well. So NQ, we can even zoom in on a 4-hour time frame. Look at this real quick, okay? Look at NQ, get rid of that. You can see we have a rally, a base, small little drop. We have another rally, okay? And you can see how fast this move was. Right? You can see that, we had another fast move down here. So there's probably some more demand down here. But up here, you can see even up here, we get a nice fast move higher. So if we take the candle before, right, just like this, draw all the way down to the bottom, we extend it out. You can see when price comes back in, we get a little bit of a reaction here, a little bit of a bounce. Now I know what you're thinking, Jordan, price just went right through it. Why, like you just told me supply and demand works and we're buying down here and then it just goes right through it. It didn't work. And like I said before, supply and demand by itself doesn't work. And later in this video, I'm going to show you how you can avoid demand zones exactly like this, okay? So stick with me for a second. Let me show you one more example on QQQ, okay? Daily time frame right here. Let me get rid of these levels for you. Daily time frame right here. We zoom out way back, way when 2022 started, okay? What do we see? We see price comes down. We have a pullback. We have a rally. We have a small 1-minute base. We have this fast move lower. Look how fast price moves. From 388 all the way down to 336, and that's about 2 weeks, which for the Qs is a massive, massive move. Okay, we take the candle that happens right before the drop, which would be right here. Take the high and the low. We extend it out. And when price ends up coming back into that zone, you can see we end up going dumping right after it. Okay, so how do we get our entries and our exits? Very, very simple. We look at TTD, go back to this weekly chart. You can see there's another zone up here. But anyways, go back to the weekly chart. All you need to do is when price comes back down, you want to buy at the top of the zone, put your stop right at the bottom. That's it. You have your entry, you have your stop automatically just from simply using your supply and demand zones. Now, that's why I love supply demand. It's very easy to understand, very easy concept to grasp, and you can basically have your entries and exits given to you, okay? Same thing here. We scrape the top, so we get in right at the top, put our stop right below the zone, and we can target the next supply zone, which would be all the way up here, just like this. You can see we actually end up getting past it. Ends up being about a 4-hour trade, okay? Very, very easy to understand. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know that I said supply demand by itself doesn't work. So what we need to do is get confirmations to increase our win rate and make sure that we don't get zones like this where we're shorting up here and then price just goes right through it. So how do we end up fixing that? Well, there's 2 other confirmations I'm about to show you, okay? I'm going to break down the first one for you right now. So the first confirmation you want to look for, show you on AMD, trend, okay? And when it comes to trend, this is going to boost your win rate by so much, okay? Very, very simple. If we take trend basics, right? Trend is higher highs, higher lows, just like this. Downtrend would be lower lows, lower highs. Okay. Now, logically, we can assume that, in a uptrend, supply is going to break and it's not going to hold. In a downtrend, demand is not going to break. Demand is not going to hold. Demand is going to break. So what you want to do is simply identify your trend and just go with it, right? Everybody tells you go and follow the trend, and it really gets overlooked. But if we look at this and we look at AMD, if we look at this pattern here, if you're only sticking to your demand zones, you're going to make a lot of money. Okay, we're in a very classic uptrend. See when price, go down a daily time frame, but easier to see. If we go down here, you can see trend starts to change. We start seeing low lows and lower highs. Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You can see every single one of these lows, every single one of these demand zones, price just goes right through it. Okay, so this is the first thing you guys got to really understand is trend. Because if you're buying in these demand zones, you're going to lose money. And by sticking to the trend, you're going to make a lot more money, right? And you can see when the trend starts to reverse, we start to see a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. When you start to see that, now you can say, okay, now I only want to be looking to buy at demand zones and not short at supply. Just like this. I'll show you an example on eBay, okay? Right here. I have supply zone here, demand zone, supply zone, demand zone, supply zone. What's happening to all these supply zones? It's just going right through it. Pull back, right through it. Back, right through it. It's because we're in a uptrend, right? Very simple to understand. You can see these are some pretty high quality supply zones. Look at this zone right here. Price ends up moving up. We end up coming back down. And you can see this is a very fast move. This is a really nice supply zone, right? And price just ends up going right through it. So if you look to short here, put your stop at the high, you're going to get stopped out, right? Same thing with the other way. When trend starts to change, trend starts to go the other way and starts to look like something like this, okay? Now you only want to be shorting at supply. And all these demand zones are going to be breaking along the way, okay? So we got the supply demand covered. We understand entries and exits. And now we have our first confirmation, okay? Now we're able to understand when price is in an uptrend, we want to be buying in demand and not shorting at supply. This alone is going to increase your win rate by so much, okay? And your risk reward. So keep that in mind. Now, what if we take it one step further? Okay, what is the actual strategy that I've back tested for years? How do I know that this actually works? Okay, what is the actual strategy? This is where the second confirmation comes into place. This is the most important part, so pay attention, okay? So let me show you an example on Netflix. Now we have a demand zone. Now I told you guys earlier in the video, you want to buy at demand, right? Put your stop right at the low, target the highs. Like we said, if we want to increase our win rate even more, how do we take advantage of that? How do we do that? I'm about to show you exactly how. Now, this could work. Okay, if you combine supply demand with trend, that's going to be a winning strategy. But what if we take it one step further? We take a look at this. Now, obviously, look at the weekly time frame for a second. Netflix is in an uptrend. Okay, we're making higher highs, we're making higher lows. So sure, we 100% could have bought right as price came down to this demand zone, or stop at the lows, target the highs. We would have made money, right? Now, how do we get that action confirmation to know that this setup is really going to hold and that price is going to continue moving higher? Well, first thing, we have identified trend. We identified a nice demand zone, right? Price pulls back. We have this fast move higher, almost no pullbacks, all green candles. It coming back into demand here. So on a weekly time frame, we have a weekly demand zone. So what you want to do for this last confirmation is simple, just do this. Okay, all you need to do is simply this. We go on the daily time frame. Actually, we go down a time frame. We go to like 2 hour. Okay, you want to zoom in a little bit more. If you're on a weekly or a higher or daily or 4 hour, you want to zoom in on like a 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute. Okay, you want to zoom in, understand something, right? If price is in a uptrend, okay, think about this for a second. In order for price to get back down to that demand zone, it needs to be in a downtrend. It's like this, right? Price has many downtrends inside of your higher time frame uptrend. And so if that's the case, then we can just figure out, okay, well, wait a second. If price has, many supply zones being formed in this area while price is coming down to this higher time frame demand zone, stay with me. I'll show you some examples. If price is doing this, what would give us the confirmation that price would continue higher? The confirmation is that price is now able to get above a supply zone. Okay, let me show you. See, we have this weekly demand zone here. We have this weekly demand zone in gray. This comes down to it. Of course, we can buy right here, put our stop a little low. But we can also do is say, okay, let's zoom in on a 2-hour time frame and see that price is now in an uptrend. Or sorry, a downtrend, right? We're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And what happens right about here is that price ends up breaking this high right here, okay? So we can see if we zoom in a little bit, right? We have a really nice supply zone. We have a nice drop, we have a base, we have an even bigger drop too, okay? This is a really good supply zone, right? We can, we have this nice consolidation. If we just draw that entire consolidation, or we just take the candle before the move started, which would be right there, extend it out, price ends up breaking that supply, a smaller time frame. This is something very, very key that you need to understand. The smaller time frame, the first sign of a trend reversal. Write that down. The smaller time frame is the first sign of a trend reversal. If we zoom in, right, we're looking at a weekly time frame trade here. If we zoom in on a 2-hour, we see, okay, on a second, price is making lower lows and lower highs. Now, price got above supply. We broke that last high. It means buyers who bought down here are stronger than the sellers who sold up here. Indicates a shift in control. That means is we now have a higher thesis. The buyers who bought down here are stronger and they are going to defend and hold their position. Okay? I know that was a lot. Just hold on with me, right? This is in a downtrend. Sellers are in control. When price is in a downtrend, sellers are in control. That trend breaks and we see that price is able to get above supply. Tells us demand is now in control. The buyers are now in control. And the buyers are in control. That is your confirmation that a trend reversal is coming. Then what you can do, buy the next pullback and expect the move higher. Okay? So if we zoom out, maybe go to like a 4-hour. The thing with time frame as well is you got to look at all different time frames, all right? I'm zooming through all these throughout the whole day. So at this point, price gets above the supply. That shows us that this low is now in control. This low should not break, okay? Because in an uptrend, right, lows don't break. In an uptrend, each pullback we get, the low should hold. If we are now in a downtrend, price ends up breaking that high, now expect this low to hold. And that is your confirmation, okay? When the higher time frame aligns with the lower time frame. So at this point, what you can do is we actually get another demand zone that forms right about here. Draw this in green for you guys. You can see we each get a 4-hour demand zone that forms inside of a weekly demand zone. That is my confirmation. That gives me so much confirmation that this low is going to hold. Gives me a lot of confidence price is going to move higher. And the best part about this as well is you get a crazy risk reward, okay? Take long at this low with our stop below this demand, and we target the higher time frame targets all the way at this high. We're looking at a 13 risk reward trade. It's a much higher reward, okay? That's the advantage. That is the edge you get with trading. This is the strategy that made me 6 figures trading. This is the strategy that will make you guys a lot of money if you follow it to a T. Let me show you one more example, okay? Because it can get a little confusing. Let me show you an example on ES futures on a smaller time frame. I know a lot of you guys are scalpers, day traders. This is going to help you out. Okay? Look at a 5-minute chart. Okay? In a 5-minute chart, trend may be a little hard to see here. Okay? But again, just think. Lower lows, lower highs is a downtrend. A high here, a low. We have a high, a low, a high, a low. Price comes back up, another high, and then a low. So, see here, we have a nice 5-minute supply zone. Okay, we actually get another supply zone here. See price rises, we have that rally, that base, that fast move lower. You can see we have this supply zone here. Price taps it, ends up lower. Let me make that red for you guys. What happens right here, we get another supply zone. Comes up, we end up going lower, and we have that supply zone. Okay. So now when price comes back up into the supply zone, of course, exactly what I said, we can short right at that supply, top of the high, target the lows. Yes, we would have made money, okay? You want that extra confirmation just so you can be sure that price is going to work in your favor. You can get a really good risk reward. What you want to do is wait for the trend to change. So at this point, right, price is going up to this supply zone. We're in an uptrend. We're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and then boom, break that low. You find the last low, which would be right here, and you can see how fast price moved up here. This is a nice demand zone as well. This is a really beautiful demand zone. But price ends up breaking it. When price ends up breaking a 1-minute demand zone on a 5-minute supply zone, that gives us the confirmation sellers are in control. These sellers are in control of the market because, like I said, we're in a downtrend. Remember, we're in a downtrend. Smaller time frame, we were in an uptrend. Price ends up breaking that low. Now we have confirmation that price is going to continue lower. What do? We wait for a pullback. Okay, we can zoom back out at like a 15 or 30-minute supply zone right here. Get in short and take the move lower. Okay, you don't need to go for crazy moves. Okay, you just get in, get out. Very, very simple. This strategy works. This is the exact strategy that I've been using to make money as a full-time trader. And if you use supply demand with these confirmations, you're gonna make a lot of money. Now, there are a few other confirmations I use, but I don't want this to be a 3-hour-long video, or 2-hour-long video. So I'm definitely gonna make some more videos about this. But I'm telling you guys, if you use this strategy, you're going to make money trading. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna make a bunch more videos. Now, if you wanna win $500, here's what you gotta do, okay? Like the video, subscribe to the video, and then comment below a ticker or a stock that starts with the letter W. Okay, that's how I know that you stuck until the end. That's how I know that you're a real one. And in the next video, I'm gonna pick one of the comments below and give you $500, just like that, straight cash.